Hello everybody. Today we're going to look at fixing up a couple of vintage Star Wars Kenner Wampas. These both have the same or similar issues. They're both quite yellowed overall. They both have very floppy arms and they both need a good cleaning. So first off, you can see they're yellowed. The legs on this one is actually pretty good. If the whole figure or both of them were looking that white, I would have just left them alone. It's pretty close to what the original would have looked like. They're also both pretty dirty. This one is not too bad. This does have a little mark here, and then on the feet there's marking for price, likely from Salvation Army or Goodwill, so someone got a pretty good deal on that for 49 cents whenever they happen to have bought it. The one on the left has a little bit more dirt. Overall, it's not quite as yellowed as the one on the right, but they both are pretty dingy looking. They do have some of the glue staining you see on commonly on these, as well as the X-Wings. Looks like when they were assembled, there was some kind of glue used, which is now yellowed even faster than the plastic has. So you see that on the arms, the head here, and they both have that. And as mentioned, they both have pretty floppy arms. They won't stay up, and we can certainly fix that. But the first step in getting these looking better is to give them a good wash in warm soapy water. So we'll do that now, and then take a look at how they have cleaned up after that. We just filled up the sink with some warm water and soap, and now we'll give them a good brush down. All right, we got these cleaned up with a bit of warm soapy water. We got the dirt off of the chest of this one, the price off of the bottom of the feet of this one on the right. So they are looking a little bit better, but clearly they're still quite yellow. The washing didn't do much for that. They were dirty in spots, but like not dirty all over that would cause the yellowing. And obviously it's not going to do anything with the glue stains you see here on this one. Most obvious, but you see on both of them as well. So to fix that, we are going to put these both in a glass jar full of 3% hydrogen peroxide and leave them out in the sun for a few days. We are in the Mid-South and it's still summer here, so we get quite a lot of sun and it gets quite warm still in during the day. So the other thing that the washing didn't fix, and matter of fact made worse, is the elastic band in the arms is now even more stretchy and more floppy. When that dried, it would tighten back up just a little bit, but certainly not to the point where it was back to more like new and where we could pose these. So in order to fix that, we're going to be replacing the elastic in the arms, and to do that we're going to remove the elastic and replace it with some new elastic. Because we're going to remove the arms anyway, we're going to do that before we put them in the hydrogen peroxide. That way it's easier to get everything in the jar, and we don't have to worry about the elastic being in the peroxide and polluting it somehow or little particles. So we're going to go ahead and remove the elastic from the arms of both of these and put them in the peroxide, put them out in the sun, and give them a few days and see how they look then. So first thing we'll do is we're going to remove the elastic from the arms and go from there. All right, to remove the elastic from the arms, it's fairly easy because they're already super floppy. we're just going to take a pair of scissors and cut through this. So I know some of you may be screaming internally now because we're messing with an original figure, but it's not going to get back to how it needs to be unless we do this. So let's just cut through there. All right. And then we can pull this elastic through. Now the little clip that it attaches to is still in the arm there, and that's what we will feed the new elastic through after we get these nice and white. So we got that one removed. And here you can see the mechanism, how it was originally attached. The elastic band through this plastic went through both sides, and then they clipped that elastic together with a little piece of metal here. Considered trying to undo this metal and then cut off some and put it back together, but it seemed like that probably wouldn't be a permanent fix because this elastic is, you know, close to 40 years old now and is not going to stay flexible for very long. So that's out off of this one. So now we have a poor armless Wampa there. So we'll put him to the side and do the same operation on this guy. You can see that bundle of elastic bands in there is becoming frayed. So we'll cut this here. Perhaps, there we go. And then we're gonna pull the elastic through there. And the little plastic piece is still there. It doesn't seem to fall all the way in the arm, so you don't have to worry too much about that, but it certainly will be a challenge getting the elastic back through there, but we will get it done. That's one arm, and the other. Let's pull this elastic through here. And now we're ready to go into the hydrogen peroxide solution. All right, we've got a jar here that we're going to fill with hydrogen peroxide. First thing we're going to do is put the Wampas in it. Now, these don't fit all the way in, so we're not going to be able to use the lid to seal it airtight, but we'll use some saran wrap or cling wrap to cover it so it doesn't evaporate completely away. So we'll get these both in here, the bodies, and start chopping in Wampa limbs and see if we can't get everybody all in there. Might be a little bit of a tight fit, but that's just all right. We don't need them to have their own little space, so let's get them down there as much as we can. There we go. And as this sits in the sun, we will kind of move things around and flip things to make sure everything's getting sun and getting good and white. And we may flip the feet down at some point so that the little bit of yellowing on the feet gets taken care of too. So for hydrogen peroxide, I've heard people say that they use 6%. I haven't found that necessary to use 6%. 3% is what you find in most discount stores and drugstores. It works fine. You don't need a special order hydrogen peroxide for this. 3% will work fine. So we will fill up this jar next. And this jar will fit exactly one of these containers of hydrogen peroxide. Normally, we probably won't use quite the whole jar this time because the Wampas will be taking up a little bit more of the space. And you can see it trying to float there. That's okay if a little bit is popping out. But you see the Wampa's trying to float. We'll use some cling wrap to get them back more submerged and take this outside.